guys, back for more FireRed. I am still going to be doing the Nugget grinding, so yeah, I shall get at least another 35. So here we go. Also, when I was screwing up accidentally pressing like the buttons for Nurse Joy and then going in a few different directions I didn't mean to, yeah, that was just an accident, you can probably tell. Though she needed to just file for her passport on top of needing to get the flight and everything in order. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I imagine. that's why you're broke. What the fuck is going on with the RNG? Just fucking use... There you go. Oh, I thought it would be... Okay. I thought it would be super effective. It's something... It's not bite, it's some other move that's like bite. Crunch, maybe? Yeah. Your dad is hilarious again. Yes. Mine dead. Train up that Pikachu to his 20s by the time he gets Misty. Yeah, that's a thing that I saw too, is when this world is coming out, I think just from the preview trailer, someone was like saying that the colors aren't accurate to how they'd be seen on a Game Boy screen, which, yes, but... It is funny because I think the Switch does have settings for HDR, but I don't know if they'd apply to a Game Boy game on it. Because I don't think... Like, just imagine. HDR. I think play game. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say earlier when you brought up playing, like, Pokemon games on a Game Boy Advance, or not Game Boy Advance, well yeah, GBA Player on a GameCube. I remember doing that actually with my old copy of FireRed years ago. Yeah, it was fun. It was good, honestly. I did not play it a lot actually, from what I remember on that, but 'cause I more so played it on my Advance SP, but it was a nice way to play it. And now here I am, 22 years later, fucking playing it on a Switch with the wireless GameCube controller for it. Which, granted, I could just use because I have the fuck is it? The thing that you plug the actual GameCube controllers into, the Switch ports, and you can just use old GameCube controllers. It's like I could just use that for authenticity, but fuck, the wireless controller is close enough that I don't care. Maybe it's still a turn-based RPG, and then it does not have gyms. The closest it has is like the like battle tower type things where you face like 100 trainers in a row and shit. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what mainline games that XD and Coliseum would be closest to in terms of like story setup and gameplay. Because you don't face off against gyms. It's literally a narrative-focused, or they are narratively focused games where you're hunting down shadow Pokemon that are out there and purifying them, and along the way you're also fighting. In the first game, you're fighting the organization that the main character used to work for, and where he stole the fucking Snag'em machine from. This is all given in like the beginning of the game, so it's not fucking spoilery at all. If Anthony's worried about that. I've played both games years ago. I did not. I have not played those since I had the GameCube. Possibly when we first got the Wii. Shadow Lugia. Oh yeah, it's a narratively focused game, and you just basically, you fight regular trainers. In Coliseum, you don't fight wild Pokemon. You do in XD, though. And then you face off against bosses. That's basically it for the battles. Because yeah, the main focus of the games is to catch and purify shadow Pokemon. So I did not get that far in XD. I think we may have beat Coliseum. I don't believe we beat XD though. And I think it's like 70 or 80, maybe. Maybe? I'm trying to remember how much I bought mine for. And that's if you want the wireless one. $69.99. It is funny, I've seen like people, I think, who didn't grow up on a GameCube controller, and a GameCube say that, like, the button layout for a GameCube controller is weird. I think it mainly might be because, like, I was raised more so on GameCube controllers than anything. I find it pretty comfy. Yeah. The modern, like, controller that you can get for all consoles as well as PC if you want to play with any of the current controllers is mainly stemmed from like a PlayStation controller. That is the base design that they all base their shit on in terms of like button layout and whatever, and then they modified whatever. I would say the Xbox controllers of at least from the 360 on have always been like the most comfortable like controllers. I would say like the second best at the very least, or maybe the best controller I've ever used is an Elite Series 2 Xbox controller, because the base ones that you get with an Xbox, like say Xbox One or Series X or S, those are like lightweight, and like especially the fucking PS5 controllers, those are also lightweight. Granted, they're not as bad as the PS4 controllers. The PS4 controllers felt fucking brittle, and like you could easily snap it if you tried hard enough. Also, they were too small. Yeah, that is why I like that's why I like the Xbox controllers as well, like the asymmetric analog sticks, and then which is from that's based on the GameCubes, so it's like yeah. Yeah, because, like, some games that were made specifically for the N64 controller, this is mainly a thing with, I think, like, Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time, mainly with, like, the aiming and all that shit. And I guess it would be also Majora's Mask, because Majora's Mask is based on Ocarina of Time's shit. What was I gonna say? Like, it mainly has to do with, like, the sticks and the D-pad on the N64 controller. They are, like, fine-tuned in a way that, like, playing on a modern controller is weird. But yeah. 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 Yes. Yeah. I was gonna say Alexis. I'm also surprised that, like, Coliseum isn't coming with it, because, like, Coliseum XD is a direct sequel to it. It's weird. Granted, it does have the better mechanics and a few extra things added to it from Coliseum, because Coliseum's kind of there in that respect, but it's also just like, it's weird. Granted, none of the main characters from Coliseum, as far as I am aware, show up in XD. Only some of the villains do, so... How so? Like, I'm assuming they're just positive, but like... Yeah, isn't it like 250 gigs? I may, but maybe later in the year or over the summer. I need to see if it like I need to see like gameplay or whatever to see if like I would actually want to play it. Yeah, no, that makes sense, and that's fine. Cause like yeah. The professional reviewers. What was I gonna say? The fact that it's like, the fact that Pokopia is like a mix of gameplay from fucking Minecraft, what was the other one? Was it Dragon? No, it wasn't Dragon Quest. Animal Crossing, there we go, that was the one I was looking for. Viva Pinata was fucking weird because it was a whole like Microsoft like game that they made a show out of in conjunction with 4Kids. I'm like, huh. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure the voice cast was at least 4Kids, and they might have done the animation for it or something like that. Yeah, you should be able to run into a Caterpie because there's patches of grass right outside the forest. Nice. Oh yeah, that was a good change. That was a good change. Cause like, I understand why they went with the original style for that shit, but like, oh my god. Do you at all want like? Cause I got both times we were in Japan and I went to Tower Records, I got some of the Pokemon game soundtracks, and I've ripped them to my computer. I can just send you them if you want. I can just do it anyways, I don't really give a fuck. Oh yeah. It's one of those things that you immediately like are just like, oh, I remember this. I think I have the file. Yeah, I can understand that. Because, like, the grinding is slow and tedious. Well, I mean, it's not just you. It's not just you. Genuinely, the grinding in the older games, because of, like, things that weren't added until, like, Gen 6 with, like, how they revamped EXP share, and then also, if you catch Pokemon, for some reason, you don't get fucking EXP from it. And, well, I mean, yeah. But then, I mean, For the most part, yeah, I can see that. It's just more so like we don't. There's not as many things that can like that exist within the mechanics of the games naturally to like speed up certain things like grinding. So, you spend a lot more time like mid-maxing everything if you want your mons to be decently leveled. Like, yeah. Yeah, because, you're fine. Because I think I was gonna say, I think I've told you this, and I told Anthony this earlier. Basically, my playstyle, and this is why Anthony said this, my playstyle as a kid was that I did not give a shit to grind unless if I absolutely had to. My playstyle was use the starter as my fucking party lead, and then like catch stronger Pokemon as I went that I liked. So, like, yeah, but why I like stuff like EXP share is that it cuts down on the grinding so much, and I agree though that it should be able to be turned off if you want it to be, but like that is conducive to that kind of stuff. From Gen 6 on, nope. Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because there is actually EXP share in the earlier games. It just doesn't work the same. They revamped it from Gen 6 on. Yeah. Let's see. I know you get it from a Professor Oak's 8 at some point. Once you get EXP FireRed. The EXP share in FireRed is obtained from Professor Oak's 8 on Route 15, east of Fuchsia City, after catching at least 50 of the Pokemon species. So, yeah, we weren't far off, but like, yeah, and it just worked differently. Give the XP share to Pokemon. The XP share is a held item. Give it to a Pokemon in your party to allow it to gain 50% of the experience points earned by the active Pokemon in battle. Only one okay, so that's how it used to work. Okay. I thought it was somewhat different, but that's good. But yeah, they just applied that to all of the Pokemon in your party. Other RPGs do that at points. Like Final Fantasy 13, it will you're only in control of like 3 party members at once, and for most of the game, in terms of the story, the group is split up between I think 2 or 3 groups. So when you go to the other group, the game automatically gives you the amount of EXP they would have earned if they were with the other people, with the other characters. And I'm trying to remember. I know Final Fantasy 15 also shares EXP between all 4 of the party members. And I'm assuming there's other RPGs that do that as well. I cannot think of any off the top of my head, though, because I haven't played as many RPGs. The Final Fantasy VII Remake series also does that. If only because you still control 3 party members in that. But yeah. But actually, no. You do play as 4 different characters throughout Remake. And I think a few more in Rebirth. But yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you remember how poison works when you're out of battle in these games? Yeah. It doesn't kill you, and then in some of the later games, from some point onwards, I don't know when they put this in, your Pokemon can actually shrug it off and like be cured of the poison when you're walking around in the overworld. Yeah. It's actually funny, since you like Caterpie, or you wanted a Caterpie, when I was using Metapod, I was training that up to get a Butterfree just to have the data in the Pokédex. When I was fighting, like, I think it was Weedle, mainly, training, and, like, grinding to level that shit up, the Weedle would, like, or whichever Pokemon it was, would fire, like, poison... No, wait, it was Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff using the fucking sleep shit. And I think also sometimes when it would get poisoned, it would say that, it would just, most of the time, it would say that it, like, shed its skin, and was basically, rid of all status ailments. Like, Jigglypuff would put it to sleep by using Sing, and then there were points where, rare points, but still points where it was poisoned. Not all of the time, and sometimes it would take a few turns, but, usually right away. It, like, shrugged everything off. Which is good. I did. How big is your cat's? Yeah, I thought of it right away. I wasn't gonna say anything, but... Talking about his TV. Yeah. I will say playing this this game on a, because I use, especially because like I'm recording the gameplay, I use a fucking it's 240 hertz like Scepter fucking computer monitor. Gaming computer monitor, and this does look really good on this screen. It also helps that, yeah, it helps because like the Switch is natively outputting this shit. I think it's upscaling it to 1080p. I'm assuming at the very least. It scales up pretty nicely, and it's not low resolution, so it doesn't look like, and it's also progressive scan rather than interlace, so it doesn't look like choppy. So that's good. Why? I'm assuming you can set your Switch 2 to 1080i in the resolution settings. Oh yeah, Leon's been playing a lot of FireRed, I've seen. Makes sense. I can imagine he's probably just playing FireRed while, like, holding his daughter or some shit while she sleeps. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and one thing that is good about the Switch and Switch 2, because you can detach the Joy-Cons and there's the kickstand for it, you can literally just put the screen on a table. A table, yeah, like if you're sitting in like say a recliner, you have a small table right next to your recliner. You just take both the Joy-Cons out and just play it that way while also holding your kid. It's like while she's sleeping. I'm mainly just tailoring this to Liam's thing, but yeah. Ultimate of convenience. Yeah. Ha ha ha. Oh yeah, I ran into him. I think there's another trainer by the name of Liam. I think it's like youngster. No. They literally did not introduce black people until Gen 5 into these games. Probably the Arabic translation, but that's about it. Where it's in fucking Sanskrit or whatever. Or Arabic. Okay, ancient Indo-Aryan language. Okay. I did not know. I thought that was still an alive language. Good to know. Was this game translated into Arabic? Fan translation. I imagine it would be easy to just, or maybe not easy, but like easier to just somehow like export the English scripts of the dialogue and narration and whatever, and just put that into a translator, or if someone knows English in Arabic. Just like rewrite everything. Oh yeah, something I forgot until I got there was it Pewter City? Or no, it wasn't Pewter City. It was the first fucking town you get to, I think, after Palatown. the old man who was just lying in the middle of the fucking road or the street or whatever the fuck. In Japanese, he's hungover. Probably some other languages too, where they don't have as many constrictions on that shit. He's hungover, but in English, he just needs his coffee, so he's like sleepy, I guess. I forgot about that shit until like I got to the point where he had already had his coffee because I got past the part of the game where that changes. And I was just like, oh yeah, right, I forgot about that. What's happening? You suck. Get better. You better shut the fuck up. God, it is funny playing FireRed after, like, a couple of months or so after I, like, actually more than a couple months, like several months after I had played Let's Go Eevee. So I'm, like, slightly remembering shit, because, like, Let's Go Eevee is weird. It retells the plot of Red and Green, but then also just, like, is part isekai, where, like, it's new characters, technically, that are in the roles of Red and Blue, and, the characters, and, Blue appears in the story at points, and then you can unlock a boss battle with Red after you do certain things in the post-game. It's weird. While also being a remake of Yellow. Yeah. It's kind of a nothing experience, honestly. Like, that was genuinely one of the easiest fucking Pokemon games I've ever played in my life. And partially because, like, I was trying to, like, shiny hunt a fucking, Vulpix. And Nick can attest to this, because I think I was in call with him when I was doing this, at some point, and, I shiny hunted so many Vulpix that, like, at least my Eevee, but then also, I think the rest of the Pokemon that were in my party at the time, they were way over leveled, because you gain fucking experience every time you catch Pokemon, to make up for the lack of trainer battles, or not trainer battles, well, Pokemon battles. Man, what I wouldn't give if they would fucking make Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness, like, HD remastered. Instead of just port them to the fucking NSO apps. 2 sell more Switches, or Switch 2s, that's why they did it. They directly ported GameCube and Wii games to the Switch before, barely doing anything besides, like, converting some of them to widescreen and 1080p. So, and in some cases, not even raising the frame rate to 60 FPS. So, yeah. Like, Mario Sunshine and Mario Galaxy were like a GameCube and Wii game, respectively. And then... oh yeah, and then Galaxy 2, right. For a year. That is really stupid. Yeah, and like, they've already put Super Mario 64 on the N64 app, and then they're bringing Sunshine, unless they already did, to the GameCube app. Yeah. I can't remember if they already did or not, but they announced it last year or so. True. Make sure you save your game. Is like, yeah, it's just gonna close the game rather than like put it in like do like Xbox does, where it puts it in like sleep and just saves the state. Yep. I only button mash like A or B anyways to get through like dialogue. It is funny because like they don't have many GameCube games on that app right now. It's like less than, I want to say it's like less than 10. Oh yeah, Luigi's Mansion. I forgot Luigi's Mansion was on there. Okay, yeah, I guess it was Luigi's Mansion I was thinking that it was already on there. Yeah, because they've been updating that shit for a while. After 50 minutes of grinding, 69 nuggets. Yeah, Stadium's the predecessor to Coliseum, where it's literally just Pokemon battles. Yeah, it was basically you can rent Pokemon in the game, but then also the big thing about it was, like, because it was like the first 3D Pokemon games, you had to buy a thing for the controller where you could then plug your Game Boy and Game Boy Color cartridges into it and transfer the Pokemon to use them in the game. To use them in 3D battles. That was the whole selling point of it. That would make sense. Also, I didn't even fucking remember this. The border around where the text is during battles changes colors depending on, like, what it's doing. Yeah. Oh, Liam? It's not a bug, it's a feature. Okay, I have 70 nuggets. Alright guys, I'm going to pause here and continue in the next one.